So with AI, change isn't coming. It's already here. A lot of companies, now I talk a lot about acting, directing, and editing, but also artificial intelligence is in all types of employment. Probably the job you have right now. Somewhere, somehow, somebody in your company is using artificial intelligence to help with the business. It could be just as simple as using ChatGPT to look up things quicker. I use ChatGPT a lot in my business. I look up information, I find it out really quick, and I get options. That's the one thing that ChatGPT gives you. And that's why employers are being drawn to it. Now, in the old days, I guess, before ChatGPT, they would tell an employee, go find out this information. And the employee may come back with one or two choices, one or two options. ChatGPT can give you multitudes because it has access to all the information out there. And this isn't something that's hidden. It's something that's being kept a secret. A lot of employers are using it and they're finding out how beneficial it is. Instead of telling an employee again to go back and find me more options, give me more options, look for more details, ChatGPT does it for you the first time. And it does it quicker than any employee could do it. So that's a simplistic way of how artificial intelligence is getting into all types of businesses. So you don't have to be fearful of it. You don't have to sit around and say, oh, it's coming, it's going to take my job away. You need to think, how can you use it in your daily job to make yourself more important for your employer? The employer may want you to put together a quick report on something that would normally take you a week to do. ChatGPT, you put the information in there, seconds you have it. You can print it out. You can present it to your employer. And it's something that's becoming expected of employees to learn how to use tools. Just like I know a lot of you out there probably don't even realize when the manual switched from manual typewriters to word processors. Now, word processors were before our desktop computers. I had a word processor. And it was a joy to get away from the manual typewriter because when I was in college, I started with a manual typewriter and then I ended with a word processor. With a word processor, I'm able to move my thoughts around. I'm able to grab paragraphs of text that I just typed and move it somewhere else, revise stuff quickly. It was a joy to have a word processor. A lot of you might not even know what those were. Just early computers, actually. Not even as sophisticated as computers. It just worked on the text alone. So you could be able to manipulate the text without going through, and I know a lot of you might not remember this, little bottles of whiteout that you had to use on a typewriter. And you had to go in there and white out a letter if you made a spelling error. Oh, and don't let me get started on autocorrect for spelling. I'm a terrible speller. And when autocorrect came out with word processors and computers, it was a godsend to me. No longer did I have to worry about, I used to have little books that had words, the words spelled out, it's like, not like a dictionary, but a smaller version of a dictionary. It didn't even have the definitions. It just had the correct spelling of words, all in alphabetical order. So I always carried one of those around with me in college to make sure my spelling was correct. And all that disappeared. And I was able to do things faster. I was able to get more work done. I was able to be more productive. So don't look at it as something that's going to immediately eliminate you as an employee. It's not going to happen that fast. Now, companies are talking, I watch a lot of videos, and the reason I do these videos myself is because I like to take the information that I learn from people who are much smarter than me and are actually in the artificial intelligence field and work in it on a daily basis. A lot of them are being interviewed. A lot of them freely give this information out, and the mass public doesn't see it. What I want to do is gather that information, put it into normal speak as I speak, and give it to you. So that's going to be my goal with this series of videos. I'm still talking about acting, directing, and editing, but I'm also broadening my horizon because artificial intelligence is coming into every workplace. Every workplace. So don't fear it. Use it as a tool. Work is changing faster than companies want to admit it. Now, what I mean by work is changing is that companies are using artificial intelligence and they're getting particular employees to use it. And they're seeing how their productivity changes. They're maybe pointing out employees who are standouts, who are already using it. And they're telling them, okay, yeah, take this and use ChatGPT, use Grok, whatever artificial intelligence program they want to try, Google, use it and see if it can make you do the job faster. They're slowly bringing it into the company. They're not doing it on a mass scale where everybody's going to use ChatGPT to do their work now. No, they're doing it little by little to see if it is truly effective. And it is. You have to watch it. You have to check it. You can't just take everything that ChatGPT spits out and pass it off to your employer. You have to verify it. You have to verify the information you get to make sure it's correct. But companies are bringing it in little by little. And they're seeing that work is being done faster. Assignments are being completed faster. And the truth is, if all of you out there are listening to me right now, you know how much work you actually do per day. And I have a saying that maybe, if you're lucky, if you're working an 8-hour day, you may do 4 hours worth of work. And this is just in general. This is just a blanket statement. Now, I know there are some jobs out there where you walk in and you work 8 hours straight. I used to have some of those jobs also. But most of the jobs that I've had in the past, you don't work nonstop. You don't work straight 8 hours per day nonstop without taking a break. There are certain jobs that you do, maybe law enforcement, maybe a medical field, maybe on a assembly line, maybe in a warehouse, assembly line warehouse where you're cutting chickens or something like that, where it's nonstop work. You don't get a break. You maybe get 2 breaks a day and maybe 2 bathroom breaks. But most people don't work like that. Most people don't work like that. Most people do about 4 hours of work. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, but it's true. Within your 8-hour day, you maybe do 4 hours worth of work. Maybe. But that's where the employer is looking at artificial intelligence. They are realizing that artificial intelligence will work 24 hours a day if the power is there, if the computer is there, and the resources are there. It doesn't have to stop. It doesn't need a bathroom break. It doesn't need a lunch break. It doesn't have to follow union rules. So that's why it's being really looked at. Again, I'm not here saying a lot of jobs won't disappear. They will. I'm talking to everyone out there to make yourself available to it, open to it, to realize that this is a tool, there's no way to get around it, that we will have to accept. All jobs, all careers will use some aspect of artificial intelligence. That's it. Accept it. It's the truth. There, I said it. You have to understand that this is a tool. Now, down in the future, I don't know how long, there will be a lot of people displaced. There will be, just like in the Industrial Revolution, when machinery came in and started doing a lot of the work that humans were doing. Go back as far as horse and buggy and automobiles. People were fearful. Oh, these machines are going to pollute the air. We won't be able to live with all this smog in the air, and it's going to scare people. It's going to run people down, and you can't fight it. Time marches on. Inventions come and they are useful. We have to adapt. Artificial intelligence is one of those. One of the things that will move us forward. Now, ultimately, I'm not Pollyanna here. I'm not saying that there will be a downside or there never will be a downside. There can be a downside to anything. Just look at the internet. The beauty of the internet. I'm speaking to you right now over the internet. Look at all the good the internet does for us. How it speeds us up, how it gets our work done faster, how it opens our eyes to things that we never would have known about. But then look at all the bad that it does. Should we shut the internet down because it has a bad side, because it has a dark side, because there's a dark web, because there are bad people using the internet to do bad things to kids, children, and one another? People are being conned out of their life savings. Should we shut the internet down because of that? No. No. Think the same thing about artificial intelligence. Yes, there will be job loss. Yes, there will be people put out of work. Yes, jobs will change. That job is not available anymore. One of the hardest things for me when I talk to college graduates, people who work in computer programming, who write code, who went to study, and they're at the end of their 4 years right now, and they're realizing I'm not needed anymore. What I spent the last 4 years studying, computer science, I'm not needed. Artificial intelligence can do it much quicker and much easier than I can. But you have that knowledge. You have to figure out, how can you pivot to something else? How can you pivot to something else? And now I'm not talking, I know a lot of people listening to this and probably saying, oh, blah, 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 he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that, he's poly. No, my job is, in addition to being an actor, I am a video producer. And what I specialized in was creating videos for small companies and nonprofits. But mostly all that went away. And it was because of technology. Now a lot of companies will just hire the receptionist. Oh, we need a training video. Grab that beautiful iPhone you just bought, that $1,000 iPhone, and go shoot our training video. And then edit it with this free CapCut software. That was my bread and butter. That was my main part of my business. But what I did was I took the skills I had, my computer skills, and I pivoted. I'm here on YouTube. I have a number of clients who I maintain their websites and organize their content and create their social media. So I took the skills that I had in video production and I brought those over to other clients. I pivoted my business. So that's what a lot of people are going to have to do. They're going to have to figure out a way to pivot the skills they have into other careers. But if you are in a career and you can make yourself valuable with artificial intelligence, then that's what you should do. Don't hide from it. Hiding from it is not going to work. AI in the business world is speeding up expectations. Not just input, but output. Your supervisor knows about artificial intelligence. They know how long it should take you to find the information you need to write the report. Before AI, you may have to go to the library. You may have to search hundreds of websites to find out what you need, 150, whatever, websites to find out what you need. Now, artificial intelligence does that for you. Large language model, that's what they call it. It has access to everything out there on the internet. So it can almost instantly pull up what you need so that you can take it and make a report and give that to your supervisor. So your supervisor expects you to do what they want done faster because they know you have a new tool. That's what I'm telling you. Artificial intelligence is a new tool to help you do your work faster, to be more productive, to get more done in a day. More is expected. Don't be afraid of it. You can learn this on your own. You can go to ChatGPT, mess around with it, figure out how to write prompts. Here on YouTube, that's one of the beauties of YouTube. Tons of ways for you as an individual to learn how to use it effectively, how to use it faster, how to get the answer you want quicker by writing the correct prompt, polishing those prompts. Prompts are what you ask the artificial intelligence program to do for you. You ask them what to get, what to create, what information to go out there and search up and bring back to you. That's what a prompt is. So don't be afraid of it. The programs have help menus, detailed user manuals. There are tons and endless amounts of people here on YouTube teaching you for free how to write better prompts, how to use artificial intelligence in your business, how to use ChatGPT, how to use Google AI, all the AI systems, videos on those. You don't have to fear it. Find out how it works and use it. Make yourself the productive person. Make yourself the go-to person in your company. Maybe you're in a small office of 5 or 6 people. Make yourself, hey, Bill knows how to use ChatGPT. Bill, how do I do this? How do I do that? Make yourself that go-to person. Because you can't fight the future. You're not going to stop it. You have people talking about, let's block it, protest signs marching around. We don't need artificial intelligence. Come on, people. Be reasonable. Be real. Technology advances us. Technology advances mankind. Your children need it. Their children are going to need it. You need to face it, accept it, and try to learn it. I'm not saying to become a programmer. You don't have to become a programmer. You're not going to become a programmer, but you're an end user. You need to know how to use it as an end user. Just like you know how to program, I bet you know how to program your remote on your Fire TV or your Apple TV. I bet you know how to search through those Netflix films and save your favorites. I bet you know how to do all that. You need to focus on something that's going to help you move forward or continue to be part of the mainstream. Don't hide from it. People who learn AI early are gaining an advantage. If you have children, teach it to them. Tell them to learn it and teach it to you. Learn how to use AI tools. And I'm not saying you have to become an expert. You just need to be aware of how they work, how to use them, what a prompt is, how to write a prompt, how to talk to these systems and get the information you want out of them. Get your kids to learn it. Don't let them be afraid of it. The kids are more apt to do it than we are. Get your kids to teach you the basics. Again, here on YouTube, endless amount of videos that explain it to you. Watch them. Try it out. Don't sit back in fear and say, "Oh no, I don't use it." I will tell you a quick story. I had a woman who I worked with, local government here in California, and this was years ago when the internet was getting big everywhere. You know, we're having these same conversations about AI that we had about the internet. Oh, it's going to destroy society. It's going to bring us all down. And she actually told me she was the head of the marketing department of a major city here in California. And she said, "Oh, I don't use email. I don't use computers." And I was just speechless. I was completely speechless. She was an older woman, but she was the boss, so she felt comfortable in saying that she didn't use it. She was against it. And, you know, who was going to say anything to her? She ran the department. And I was a contractor coming in to create videos for them. But so I just bit my tongue and went along with the meeting until, you know, a couple of years later, she was replaced. She retired. And the department moved forward. But that was the beginning. You still have people now who say, "Oh, I'm not going to use AI. I'm not going to participate. I refuse to. I'm a sovereign citizen when it comes to AI. I don't have to use it." Don't think about that stuff like that. That's ridiculous. Learn it. At the basics. I'm not telling you to become Sam Altman. You're going to need to know the basics so that you can work within society. As the world moves on, I know a lot of people didn't want to use smartphones at the beginning when they first came out. They wanted to stay with their push-button phones or their, their, as they would call it at that time, their dumb phones. They were still digital, but they were just basic phones where you had the keyboard and you had to type Blackberries. And they didn't want to use it. They were resistant to it. What happened? They accepted it or they were left behind. Don't be left behind. AI, and this is for everyone who I talk to, acting, directing, and editing, and everyone else out there in the workplace. AI is becoming a workplace expectation. And it's happening fast. It's happening fast. The system, as far as ChatGPT goes, just use that as an example because that's the one I use and that's the one I, use every day, had an explosive growth, the largest platform ever since the beginning of the internet, when people jumped on, and it grew so fast. I don't know that I don't have the numbers on top of mind, but it just exploded. It's an expectation. You need to use it. And I know I'm talking to a lot of people out here who are beginners, basics. That's where I focus on. You need to use it. Start using it for your own personal stuff. Ask it simple questions just to start out, to see how it works, to get used to using it, to break down those walls of fear, which are unreasonable, which are not necessary. You need to accept the future and become part of it. Don't sit back and say, "No, I'm not gonna," like the woman I told you about. "No, I don't use the internet. No, I don't use email." You had a lot of older people early on back then when the phones were being accepted. "Oh no, I still keep my landline. I don't have a smartphone. I'm not interested in being involved." Come on, people, wake up. The future is here, and I'm just talking about the basics. It's an expectation. Don't be fearful. Try it out. See how it works. It's not as bad as you think. I'm telling you, it's not as bad as you think. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.